The topics we discuss are many.
No story too bold to talk about.
Strictly our own opinions.
But they are opinions from people like you.
Welcome to the NAKE'd podcast.
Classes are not going the way I want them to this semester. Hey, it's Keelan.
Oh no, I forgot it again. Hey, it's Ethan.
Guess who's on day 6 of being cigarette free? It's your girl, Norma.
Whatever you do, I'm not the imposter. But sometimes I am. It's your DM tech guy, Alan.
It's always Peach.
It's always Peach, man. But you
Peach
know...
is sus.
You know what else is sus? We've been producing this podcast for a year, as officially as of today.
Oh.
Monday, September 21st.
It's our 1-year anniversary.
It's our 1 year
I
anniversary.
didn't get you guys anything.
Where's my coffee cup?
I've disconnected from the voice chat.
You'll receive it in 3 to 6 business months, okay?
Those are business months. Yeah, it's really hard to get stuff in from happy anniversary, guys. Happy anniversary, Naked listeners, if you've been with us for a year. No matter if you've been here for a year or even just, this is your second episode, we're still happy you're here.
Hey, just so you know, the listeners are not supposed to be naked. Heads
up. Yeah. No, don't be naked. We're supposed to be naked. You're not. Call back to our first episode.
I love that. It seems that's like so sweet. A whole year.
Yeah,
We made
did you
it,
ever
guys.
think you would stick with it this long?
No, I just
Stick with what?
I can't believe how much we've grown in a year. I mean, think about it. I mean, Circle of Jerks has totally taken off into a whole new era. Our Discord family is our best family. So, can you imagine? This all started off with a, hey, what if, from Ethan. And now it's growing. Feels good.
Mm-hmm. Feels awesome.
I know, we're really adulting in the podcasting world now.
Moving on up.
Yay.
Speaking of moving on up, Stormfront is moving on up quite a bit in the boys.
Shit.
So, yeah, I was going to say, let's touch back on... I wanted to see how y'all's reaction was to Stormfront after episode 3. So, y'all are on episode 4 now, right? Of the boys?
We're starting episode 5.
Yeah.
You're starting episode 5? Okay, so... where are your opinions and where do they lie on Stormfront now?
I'll let Alan go first.
I fucking hate her. That's right. I said it. I fucking hate her. She's
Do you get my question now of why is she a Nazi?
She's a white supremacist.
I have no clue. Yeah.
She killed the one person because of their race. So.
Oh my God. She even. I don't even want to bring it up. This is a good place.
So,
I'm trying to tap around it.
We didn't actually find out that she was a Nazi, by the way. We had heard Liberty's story about her killing her brother, like saying that he faked a robbery, and that the Huey and MM actually find out that she was that was Stormfront. So that's where we were at with that. But makes sense.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I can't believe she looks so young.
I know, I'm so curious.
Blows my mind.
So they dive in more into some of her powers in episode 5, but I'm really curious to see what all her powers actually are.
Mm-hmm.
Because evidently it's like energy manipulation in some way. And that would make sense why she can be so young, because energy is what, keeps the world going.
I wonder if she's the soup that exploded that girl's head from the FBI.
Same thing I was going to say.
Probably.
Same page.
Ethan's just nodding vigorously, yes.
Well, I didn't say it for a reason. Spoilers. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Is it?
Yeah, in episode 5, they realized it was her that blew up. And then that's when the director helps the boys again. So
We
My
don't want to
bad.
hear it yet. It's all good.
No,
At this point, I'm like tied into the storyline, so I don't like certain spoilers. I don't care.
it's just it's so gory sometimes. I mean, like showing the boy that Liberty / Stormfront had beat his face in, like that was graphic. That was really graphic.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it's what I expect from the boys. It didn't disappoint.
Even just Stormfront cracking Kimiko's brother's hands and neck, like that was graphic as fuck. Like,
or how she just brutally killed the family in the apartment.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's super fucking intense.
I knew she was sus. She's definitely the imposter.
So I real quick, I was like stealing meme templates for Among Us because I think that's gonna be gold for a little while.
At your best Among Us meme to Ethan on Twitter.
Yeah, and at me because those are pretty funny. I've seen a lot of really good ones.
My favorite one was the one that you sent earlier. It was everybody ask who is the imposter, but not how the imposter is.
I figured Alan could relate to that one.
Yeah, again, no one asked me how I am.
So mine so far was the engineer chart, just because that chart is hilarious in its first place. And then you had the little baby, and you're just like, oh, it's so sad, but it's funny.
Dude, the memes about little baby are so adorable and they just make me cry.
I'm not sure if I saved it, but there was one that I saw today that was just like...
The map.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just talking about.
Okay.
No, but it was like, so one of the little babies, the imposter killed their dad, so they went on a murder
Damn.
rampage and they like killed the other imposters. It was funny. He like went Rambo.
The one that I really found funny was the Pooh and Piglet one, where Pooh's saying he loves honey, but do you know what I don't love? People who acting kind of sus, and then Piglet was not the imposter.
Like, people have just gotten so creative with this, like, simple storyline. I don't know, it's a lot of fun watching everything come from it.
It's
Like-
like
I think-
a more interactive Clue.
Yeah, and I think because it's so basic on the storyline that people are able to, I don't know, kind of put themselves into it.
And it's sort of amazing how the most popular games this summer going into fall were Fall Guys and Among Us. They're simple games, no storyline, just you and a target, and it's just you playing with your friends and other random people online. It's fucking great.
And I think that's the biggest appeal of it, is the fact that you're able to play together with your friends, but you don't have to have the headsets. You don't have to have the webcams and be talking to each other, because you're able to chat. Or, you know, like with Fall Guys, you're just running up against each other. I don't think that one has a chat, but
No, it doesn't.
it's just a simple fact. You get to hang out with your friends for a little bit in this fucked up 2020.
It's fun. I mean, we played this past Saturday night, all of us, and we played pretty late. And I think that's probably the most fun I've had, like, online ever. Like, 'cause I get to interact with you guys, right? Which are my friends, and I miss you guys. We don't get to see you all the time because fucking pandemic and
Fucking
we're
pandemic.
homebodies. But it's nice to be able to have that fun, you know, but still keep that social aspect too.
Yeah, because like we went to the, you know, roller coaster park this weekend, and it was just like, it was okay, but I would not suggest going during a pandemic. The only reason I didn't freak out really was because, like, we already members, right? So we didn't really have to pay a bunch of money to go. But at the same time, it was like the lines are just ridiculous, and it's because they're only running at like a third capacity, right? So you had like one group on the ride at a time, and then after they rode it, they disinfected it and then sent it empty so that it can like dry off and then load it back up. Disinfect it, send it empty. It's just
Damn.
the process just takes terribly long.
Well, and they talk about they had the parking spaced out for some reason. So parking was already a bitch. Like 2 spaces away from each other, not even like every other one.
Yeah, they kept the 6-foot rule for all vehicles also.
Except for, the ones in front and the back, because you're parked right next to each other. And then they say you have to make reservations in order to get in. You have to scan your reservation as well as your ticket. They didn't check our reservation. We went with one of my girlfriends, and she ended up going through like the daily pass line, and we went through like the membership line, and they didn't ask her for a reservation. They just like, cool, scan your ticket, walk her right on in. So it's like, why have reservations, and how can you say that you're keeping a third of what the park can hold?
Maybe they're under capacity because most people like don't want to go. Like maybe they're just like, yeah, like you can. I hope this would be the case. Like you can let in extra people.
Yeah. I just didn't get the parking thing. It was like, okay, cool. Let us all park up close, right? But like, limit the amount of people in the park. Just let us all park up close. That was my big thing. I was like, I had to park in the back of the parking lot, even though, they will only allow every third spot.
That would be the bonus of going to amusement park in a pandemic, is not having shitty ass parking.
Right?
And then, so like the decorations were just kind of blah. And there was no haunted houses or nothing fun really. So it was just kind of, I don't know, another day at the park.
Their scare actors came out after about 6:37, and they had to stay behind like a barricade, so they couldn't even walk through the people anymore.
They were in little pins.
That sucks.
It's like being at a zoo. That does suck.
But you really want to know what else sucks? That the great one, RGB, she had to pass this last week.
Oh yes, rest
Oh,
in peace,
yeah.
Ruth. It's really sad. I think it's so crazy, and I feel like it's classic 2020. Like, in Archer, whenever he says, "That's just like so you." That's like classic you. I feel that way about 2020. And then the fact that it's an election year, like, just makes it like feel that much more bigger. But I guess like the major topic right now is, should we start the nomination process for the next Supreme Court justice right now? And I think one of the arguments was, well, we shouldn't do this during an election year, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think it really makes a difference whether or not it's election year. Like I get, the president nominates them and then they still have to go through with the processes. Well, if you're worried about the same president's not going to have B and C, then have both the nominees put some people up, or all 3 nominees. Because remember, people, there is a third party on that ballot.
So the only thing I'm going to say on the topic is that Obama nominated a judge during his election year, and his vice president was Joe Biden. So why would we expect Trump to act any different than Biden did?
Oh, I didn't know that Obama had elected during his election year.
Yeah, I don't think the judge wasn't confirmed, but they were nominated during the towards the end of the election year.
What's the difference between that and what's going on now? I mean, realistically, by this candidate gets vetted, it's not going to be until 2021.
I think the biggest worry here for everyone involved is the Republicans seem to think that Trump is going to get reelected when everyone else is hoping that he doesn't. I think that's why there's this whole big, I guess, picking up dust because of it.
But at the
It's
same
whole
time,
infighting.
I just don't see the enthusiasm for Biden. When I drive down the neighborhood, I haven't seen any Biden signs or any Biden flags. So they had the Biden support rally here in San Antonio over the weekend. And
I don't even know.
yeah,
Right?
one of the guys at work, he said, "Oh yeah, I got stuck in the parking lot as it went by, but we waited like 8 minutes and we were good to go." You know what I mean? So that's how, like, even the rallies and stuff, it's nothing. Nobody has any enthusiasm for Biden. So I don't get how he's going to win. I just don't see that. Like, just the enthusiasm behind Trump supporters versus Biden supporters, I just don't see Biden taking it. So, like, let's keep the ball rolling. Let's move forward and everybody do their job.
Supreme Court justice is super important to have. They review monumental cases that affect generations of our, of our citizens. And it's important that we continue on that process and turning it into political debate of when we should and shouldn't. We have a need now. We need to start with that need right now. It's what we need as a country, is another Supreme Court justice.
Now, if they were like, "Oh, in honor of her, we're going to wait a month," or, we're going to allow time for mourning, I wouldn't have an issue with it. But the way that the Democrats were presenting it as like, "Oh, it was her dying wish." Come on. Like, seriously? Y'all are really going to pull it was their dying wish, for Joe Biden to nominate the next Supreme Court. It was just like, yeah, that might have happened, but that's kind of a real exploiting her death for your benefit kind of feeling.
I agree. I totally agree. It kind of discredits her life's work. Because, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was prolific and iconic in every way. And I hope that the next Supreme Court justice can definitely... they have big shoes to fill. So I hope that, whoever they pick is going to be good.
I think that Trump already announced a nominee.
Friday. They announced that they're going to have a nominee by Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
But what do you guys know about the whole Supreme Court justice process? Because I feel like this would be Trump's third, and then Obama had two. That's like in our adult memory that we could see.
So my real only experience with it is that we bring him in front of Congress, and then a bunch of people throw accusations at him, and we just try to make one stick.
Looking at you, Brett Kavanaugh.
But honestly, Brett Kavanaugh would have been, even how politically active I've been in the last 10 years. I've been politically active since I was 18. That he was really the first one that I've even seen them kind of show any of the process or even talk about him getting appointed. Usually it's just like, President appoints new Supreme Court justice. Like, that's all the headline you hear.
Yeah, I don't really have that much experience with the Supreme Court system either. I really don't know much about it, other than they make a lot of important decisions.
So the process is pretty lengthy, and for good reason. We want to make sure that this person that we're nominating to be in such a high position in our country is properly vetted. So they, seek out a candidate, and usually presidents try to align their ideas, with the judge's ideas, or vice versa. They would want to see what judge aligns their viewpoints with the president and their party, typically. And it's just to uphold their values and their morals. And then from there, they'll review their cases, anything else controversial, and they go through a background check, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then the president says, "Cool, I want you to be my person. Then this person goes in front of the Senate and they go through confirmation hearings. So they ask him questions about his cases, about what his viewpoints are, or her. And then they say, let's take a vote. You know, it's good old America. Take a vote. And then if they get it, they get it. So the president has the power to nominate. The Senate has the power to confirm or reject. So it's a Republican-controlled Senate. You're not going to really see much opposition there. But that's what I
So
learned.
that makes a lot more sense the way you're describing it. Why the Democrats are having such a, I don't know,
Freak out.
freak out, stop it at all costs, because you already have most likely a Republican president getting reelected.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a current Republican Senate, and then you'll have a Republican or a conservative leaning Supreme Court. So all they have to do is really take over Congress, which with the state of the Democratic Party, which, no offense, but I always saw you as a vote blue no matter who kind of person, right?
You're right. I totally was. It's because
And now you're saying vote blue no matter who except for Joe Biden. You know?
No, not even that. It's more so of like looking at the best candidates. I mean, we've talked about in our past episodes where, you know, our primaries, we have to vote a certain way. But, you know, in actual election, it would be great to have a mix up between, you know, most people just vote all Democratic straight down their ticket. And they shouldn't. You should be looking at your, you know, your vote, your candidate.
But hearing y'all's statements, and then seeing what's going on, it's like, oh crap. To me, it looks like Democrats are in full panic mode because they don't think they're going to have Congress. They're going to lose every single power of position that they have in our government in 2020 election. That's the forecast I'm looking at.
Yeah, it really seems that way. I mean, everyone's trying their best to make sure that they kind of stay in the headlines to make it look like they're popular. At least that's what I've noticed. AOC is always in the headlines in every single moment she can get. And so is Pelosi for the most part.
Yeah, and I don't think it's helping them at all. Like, I think it's driving their base away, which ideally is y'all, you know? Y'all are their base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not old school Democrats either. You know, like there's a lot of new ideology. I mean, like you're a moderate conservative, Ethan, and I could say like I have some conservative values now. Like I feel like my viewpoint has changed on a lot of things, but I still lean liberal. And I feel like I don't have anybody in office that represents that.
Yeah.
There really isn't. I mean, both Trump and Biden are very conservative.
Well, actually, like, I mean, if you look at Trump, his beliefs, though, that's why he was such rejection from the Republican Party in the first place, because he does have some liberal beliefs on certain items, and other ones he is very conservative. So I could see where, you know, but anyway, ideally, he is one of the most conservative or one of the most liberal presidents we've had since, you know, Ronald Reagan.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Everyone thinks Ronald Reagan was a hardcore, you know, conservative, which he really wasn't. He kind of reinvented what a conservative was in the 80s. And I think Trump reinvented what a conservative is nowadays.
I think too is it's like it doesn't always go the way that you think it's going to go. So, you know, like Eisenhower, for example, when he introduced a Supreme Court justice, he expected him to be more conservative, and the guy was the most liberal person ever in the court's history. So later on, Eisenhower had said, that was the biggest damn fool mistake I ever made. Same thing with Papa Bush. Papa Bush, you know, appointed somebody that ended up being more liberal based in their decisions. So, I mean, it really depends on the person, and you have to trust that these people have studied the law and, you know, regardless of agenda, like they really try to do what's right.
Yeah, I mean, W appointed John Roberts, who's the Supreme Court Chief Justice, And he's voted pretty much with the liberals on the last few major rulings, like the ruling from Oklahoma that gave land back to the tribe.
That's true. So, would it be fair to say that our court system is a much more understanding and changing system compared to our our House of Representatives and our Senate?
Yeah, our house is a mess. Our house is ridiculous at this point. It needs to have a nice update to modern times in certain areas. It needs term limits. It needs, age caps. It needs,
It almost feels like it's being abused by the people who've been in office the longest.
Yeah, if
I mean,
you're in office
it was
for 50 years, you don't deserve to run for president, okay?
Like, it took AOC, to fight tooth and nail to actually get her seat against her opponent. And her opponent was like, yeah, I'm going to win. Nobody cares who this bitch is or chick is. He didn't actually say bitch.
So he was number 3 in the Democrat Party. They primaried against him. He didn't try anything. He thought he was just going to steamroll her over.
Yeah.
And she took that nominee, which once you become the Democrat nominee in her district, you're elected.
Damn.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't think I say it and people say, well, it's ageist, blah blah blah. But our national retirement age should be the cap for any public office. Like, if you're old enough to retire, then you should go retire and enjoy your life and let somebody else, carry the weight.
I can agree with that. It kind of reminds me of in Parks and Rec where they have this boys club and there's one guy, an old guy who tracks Leslie Knope's cycle, her period cycle. This is why we need to cycle these people out. We need fresh ideas. We need to keep up with, being progressive and, get some younger folk in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, our choices right now are a 70-year-old, a 77-year-old man or an 80-year-old man, Why can't we have a 50-year-old guy trying to be president? I just don't think Gen X wants to do any work.
No, I don't think so either.
And the Millennials are just biding their time, waiting.
We're fighting to get in.
Yeah, I honestly think that the number one candidate for 2024 is going to be Ted Cruz.
Nah, Philip DeFranco said he'd run in 2024.
I think he's really stepped into the spotlight. He's tried to work with people. He's got his name now publicly, nationally. He started his own podcast. You know what I mean? He's doing all the PR he needs to do to set up that run.
He grew a beard.
Yeah.
I forgot about that beard.
He's still rocking
like a fluffy Wolverine.
Yeah.
He no longer looks like
Zodiac Killer.
The Zodiac Killer.
So are y'all ready for another Texan president and the first Hispanic president?
I'm done for that. Hell yeah.
I mean, is Ted Cruz... Do we claim him? Just kidding.
I mean, did.
Y'all claim Beto, and that guy's name is literally
Robert
O'Rourke.
Hold on. Hold on.
Ted Cruz's first name is technically Raphael. So I'm like, if you bring back Raphael, Ted, I'll think about it.
Also, he won't take away our guns, man. Come on.
No, like Beto.
Did we forget about that?
Oh
No, nobody
why'd you have
forgot
to reopen?
that. But you know that Beto is going to be on Joe Biden's cabinet, right? He's his first pick for a Secretary of the Interior or whatever.
I forgot what Secretary of the Interior does.
Yeah, and whatever it was, but he was going to be his... He wanted Beto to be his Second Amendment czar. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to be.
What?
It just sounds like bad news.
Oh my god.
I don't know anything about this. So I'm not going to comment on it.
Yeah.
I don't either. That's all I just, they just were talking about that. And I don't know. Sounds like bad news to me.
God damn it. You know what doesn't sound like bad news? The new Oculus Quest 2 price tag. So,
Oh, what's it at?
I'm the owner of the original Oculus Quest.
He stole
The
from a
original
blind
Oculus
guy.
Quest. Yeah, I stole it from a blind guy. He wasn't using it. No, I bought it off of a buddy of mine, but I only paid $400 for it, right? Like, that's pretty expensive considering that I paid
Only.
less for the Xbox. It's only $400. If you want bigger storage, it's like $550. The new ones, the Oculus Quest 2, they changed it from black to white, and they packed a whole bunch of good stuff in. Like the resolution per eye is 1832 by 1920. The refresh rate for the lenses is 72 hertz, so it's already faster than your typical PC. It's not quite there, like where gamers would want it. It only weighs like 500 grams. Battery life is still the same at 3 hours. It's using the latest processor. It's got 6 gigs of RAM. And it's $300, right?
So,
That's not
It's-
bad.
I mean,
It's only $50 more than a brand new Switch.
obviously the graphics should be better, right? Like not as
Mm-hmm.
good as a PC, but better.
Oh, they're way better. I mean, compared to the original Oculus Quest lineup, the original Oculus Quest per eye was 1440 by 1600 pixels per inch.
Can I get that, the Omni treadmill, and the touch suit that goes on and just have a good old time?
I mean, you can. With the original Oculus Quest, you could actually connect it to a computer and run games off of Steam, off of the Epic Game Store, wherever you could buy VR games. My problem with the new Oculus Quest 2, and I didn't know this when I started reading up the tech specs, compared to the original, you don't need a Facebook account connected to it. You can just create your own account through the Oculus website and set up your payment, what have you. With the Oculus Quest 2, you have to connect your Facebook account to it.
That's
I
Right.
don't use my Facebook. Yeah, it's dumb. I don't know. Maybe it's...
I bet they're gonna have like a Facebook gaming setup on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Ah,
I mean, they own it.
think about that.
It makes sense for them to put their login information, but they're alienating the rest of the people who initially went in and invested and purchased the original Rift, the updated Rift, the Oculus Go, and the Oculus Quest.
Who actually uses Facebook gaming? Like, you circle jerks are always in the Twitterverse. Have you ever seen anybody hype up Facebook gaming?
No,
Like 3 times a day?
I'm starting to see a lot more YouTube, but nah, 90% of the time it's Twitch, about 9% of the time it's YouTube, and then 1% of the time it's other.
It's
So
like some
people-
other streamer site or Facebook.
Yeah, some people will stream from their personal website, others from, Facebook or other gaming sites.
Yeah, just there's not a really big market on Facebook gaming, and I've gone to the website. It's not that great either. Like the UI is it feels clunky, it feels cluttered because you basically got the same stuff on the web page as if you had gone to your regular Facebook page. It feels just the same.
I figured they would have
There's-
absorbed Mixer's interface.
They completely threw it away. They abandoned the colors, they abandoned the schemes, they just absorbed it and absorbed the users that they had. I think that's the one thing that they wanted was a user base so they can go hard on Facebook gaming. Because before Facebook gaming it was Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And
Facebook's last grasp to be relevant.
Well, that wraps up another great episode. Thanks for joining us. Find our memes and other great content on Twitter and Instagram at OG_the Naked Pod.
run over to our website, officialmillennials.com, and you'll find our wonderful blog, some notes here and there from others, and a link to our Patreon, where for $1 you become a patron.
What do we get out of the $1 patron?
All of Alan's love and respect.
I'm okay with that.
And
As
a
long as it's-
handwritten note.
No handwritten note. My handwriting's shitty. While you're on the internet, definitely hop over to our Twitch and Mixer channels. On Twitch, we're Official Millennials. On Mixer, we're Official Mills. We will be trying to do some streaming this summer, so definitely check that out. Maybe we'll have a live show, and I will be doing streaming Mondays and Thursdays over at Mixer and Twitch. My handle is PeachZ90.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find all of our episodes with a little extra fun mixed in. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, we love you.
This is an Official Millennials production.